gonna scoot them over here. Now, notice that we're using the app, and look what's at the top. So it'll show us plus at the top, so it shows the whole room. Isn't that awesome?
That's really cool.
How
How'd
do
you
you do
make
that?
that happen?
Plus, what happens when you use the Zoom app and not the other one?
Interesting,
So
okay.
I'm gonna also let myself in as a participant. I'll share on this one.
Well, we have a hard stop at 6:29, right?
Yeah, I just realized that I don't have. Wish you could switch back and forth.
I don't know why.
Are they gonna be on the same address, Zoom address as this meeting? So they could just like come into this meeting and have it turned over to them.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah,
So if they start to come in.
if they start to come in and,
And
yeah,
then what
we'll just say, we're finishing up, you guys are just
Yeah,
gonna
one
stay.
thing.
Now, is the Zoom the same number? I think
Yeah, they play a different.
they have a
game.
different Zoom number,
So all their members would be.
because it wasn't a joint meeting, I put the stuff into.
Also,
Okay.
Grace won't like that, because you have to stop.
That's okay, we'll stop doing that too.
Yeah, we do have to stop it. for
And I
Grace.
have you signed in,
For the-
so I could.
for the, YouTube.
Yeah, I think that's right. I
Yeah,
think,
yeah, that's too bad.
I do, because right now I'm on my other Zoom, I actually have two Zooms and it keeps flipping over to my other one.
I mean, why?
did we ever get Mr. Zoom figured out there, like,
We did, we have a very good, situation going on.
oh, good.
We're not getting the updates, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so no one has come in,
You know you're okay. if you
It's
do.
still, let's see, it's 4:57.
and it's 4:57 and it's dark.
And all these over.
You stay home for Thanksgiving?
Well, remember John's.
Oh, but Jake coming down,
Yes,
right?
you're right. You know,
And it was kids. You never know, right?
yeah,
Hello.
well, he's supposed to come.
There are chairs over there, help yourself. Is he staying there for a couple of days?
Yeah, because it's Ella's birthday on Friday, so hopefully
Oh,
it's
good.
Friday,
Yeah,
I mean Thursday night and Friday, night. Hopefully, I mean, I'm not,
I know.
he wasn't committing.
He wasn't.
Well, you know.
Good, I don't need to touch that now. I can
That's what happens when you have young kids.
Yeah, you have kids, you get a run to the way from what way and that.
But I got to.
So you don't have to.
You don't need in-laws.
I did. That is severe. Oh, I'm gonna take my picture off.
Yeah, I.
Because I'm double. doing
I
it.
really like how it has our thing where it shows the room and then it shows, if I pinned it, we wouldn't see anybody else, but they see the whole thing. But I've done. I'm having a bad hair day. I was earlier about.
I was bad hair day every day.
Flipping everywhere. We should all wear hats. That's a great idea.
That's right.
Right, good
I was
idea.
supposed to get my hair cut yesterday and I was still sick, so I just called and said,
I haven't had my hair done in like 6 months.
one of my
I just
friends.
trim mine if I need it. And then they go, oh, but it's straight.
This is like, it's so.
Hmm?
This is like,
It was so much fun.
so much
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
All I do is sit down.
This is
right
a-
there, that's all.
Yeah. This is a good.
I think we were.
It's 5 o'clock.
And my watch is going, it's time to
Yeah.
go.
I'm gonna start this here. This is for
Okay.
Dave this time. Have we started? No.
Nope,
No,
but we
no,
can.
we can start. I just want to make sure, can someone raise their hand, show us the picture if they can hear us on the screen? Thank you,
Tom
Tom.
says yes.
Is that loud enough, Tom?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to call the Shutesbury Selectboard to order for November 25th,
26.
2026, I'm sorry, 2024. And our first topic is to review the agenda. So we have the review agenda up first. then public comment, a poll hearing, general business, we're gonna have a tree hearing, job, town administrator, job description, town hall use policy review, town administrator hiring update. We're gonna, talk about and sign the MRF extension grant, select board support for ECAC, thank you, grant. Open meeting complaints review, EMPG, which is emergency management program grant. The Lake Wyola endowment and Sierra endowment, we can, we're not possibly, yeah, passing over that one. Newsletter, discussion, then at 6:15, we're gonna have the town administrator updates for, a few things, PFAS, Joe Comerford visit, town meeting setup, building, pool bins, produces the warrant, who sets up and such. Then we have our upcoming meetings, and then hopefully adjournment by 7 or before. We have for 6:30, we have to hand off the baton to the FinCom. So we need to get going. Was there any additional ones? I know we just discussed passing over the Lake Wyola road meeting. Was there any others we wanted to pass over with our time limit we have today?
Yeah, I think the town hall use policy,
Okay.
I don't think we have time, and my recommendation is that we do that
Okay.
at the December 10th meeting. And then the town administrator hiring update, will be really brief.
Okay.
You know, I think there are other topics on the agenda that kind of warrant more time.
Eric, did you have any thoughts?
No, that's all sounds good to me, thanks.
If you're good with that too? Yep. Okay, all right, so let's do our first item, which is public comments. Does anyone here in the room or on the screen have a public comment? And if you are by Zoom, please use your raise hand feature if you can. Any public comments? So we'll move right along. On the agenda, we do have a poll hearing. We weren't exactly sure what that was.
I think
But it
that's
could have been a
it's
tree hearing.
confused with the tree here.
Okay. All right. So with that said, nice segue into the tree hearing. And I don't see, oh, there comes Dave now.
Yeah, he was coming on.
Dave is our highway super, if anyone, does not know, Dave Grant here.
We had the poll hearing on for 5:15,
Oh,
I mean, the
yes.
tree hearing,
Yeah.
so do we need to, that's
Yeah.
a public hearing.
It
the
is,
poll hearing.
okay, so
Yeah.
why don't we wait until
You
5:15?
need to wait.
Shall we do?
I can do
Town administrator hiring update?
Yeah.
Okay.
So at our last meeting, we talked about, the job description and gave comments on the job description. And, so the job description, both for the town administrator and then for the administrative secretary. I put into the, so I did a fairly extensive edit, kind of using as a template another job description that I thought was really good from, I think, the town of Southborough. And just to save, Gabe from having to do a whole lot of editing, I put the draft into the shared drive. So everybody has it now. For tonight's meeting. I don't think we have a lot of time to go over it, but what I thought it was just a more comprehensive job description. And what I did, kind of one of the major things was there were some tasks that we had in the town administrator job description, which I felt were more appropriate to put into the administrative secretary. So I kind of cut and pasted. I did not put the administrative secretary draft I just ran out of time this afternoon, and I apologize for not doing it earlier, but when I get home, I will put both of those job descriptions into the folder for the meeting on the 10th too. So
Okay.
I think, yeah, December 10th is our next meeting, December 3rd, is gonna be really abbreviated. It's just gonna be right before town meeting. So we're meeting on the 10th. If we, we want to keep moving on this because I assume, I believe that the personnel committee is scheduled, is that correct?
It is scheduled for Thursday, the sixth, but we can adjust that. So if we need to, we can have it, I can check with them, and see if we can meet for Thursday, the 11th, if that works.
Do you wanna,
I'll contact them.
or do you think,
Or do you want some of their?
I don't
thoughts on that?
know, yeah, I mean, I suppose we could give them this first draft. but- or
I
would
think,
you rather,
I think in the past experience, it's worked better with them getting an almost final draft in case we do start changing,
Okay.
anything significant.
okay,
But let me talk with them and see if they can meet on the 12th, or the 11th, even if we had to.
okay. Or as an alternative, if you guys went and did the editing off of that one that will be in the shared folder,
We could look at it on the 3rd.
So the only thing I have for the agenda item on the 3rd was us reviewing.
oh, okay.
So if we were to review the 3rd and then finalize the 10th for next week.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
that's
the
great.
3rd, then personnel board, and be able to vote on it by the 10th.
Yeah,
Does that sound good?
yes,
Okay.
okay.
So we'll have the 6th, I'm sorry. the
Okay,
personnel
so-
board the 6th.
So
Let's
leave
stick
it on
with
the
that.
6th,
Okay.
yeah, and then we'll do it on the 3rd, because we don't have anything else. Okay,
All right.
and the administrative secretary, is it too ambitious to try to do both of those?
Right now, I think it
Okay.
is, because we have a lot on our plate. If we find that things are lightening up, then we can tackle it.
Okay, all right. All right, so, and then the town hall use policy, I think we said we were gonna do that on the 10th.
The 12th.
So we'll do this on the 3rd.
12/3. So the personnel board 12/6, and then back to us on the 10th for
Right,
refinement or voting.
right.
Okay. Others.
10. The other thing that I put in, which isn't, well, I guess when you move down to the town administrator hiring update, I started to draft an ad. Again, I looked at a, template from another community. It was really fast. I just did it this afternoon.
Mhm.
So, that will definitely need some work. So we just need to figure out the timing, because I think we wanted to have the ad sooner rather than later. But there was a whole section on like a description of the community that I was just kind of making up. So if you can look at that draft ad too.
Okay.
And then if we have time on the 3rd, if we don't, we could push that off to the 10th. And I did just updated search guidelines based on our discussions from last week, changing so that there's a department head. There are a couple of other minor changes in that, but I just wanted to have like a corrected version. So that's in the shared file, and probably what I should do is just move everything into the folder for the 10th too. Does that make sense? So that it just is there?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's there, yes.
All right, so I'll move all of that stuff into the
The 10th.
10th. Let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, so it's just it was the committee schedule, until we hear back from the personnel committee, we won't really be getting into the hiring committee, but, I mean, the search committee. So we'll need to talk about that too. Okay. And the search committee, I believe there was already a description of their role and responsibilities. So that's done. I think The other piece of it is just reaching out to the different committees to get appointees. And for the 2 or 3, deciding finally on how many people are on the search committee, and then the 2 or 3 people that are not either department heads or from other committees, kind of from the general public. We need to put out some sort of a announcement, yeah. And I think that's it.
Okay.
So that sort of covers the job descriptions, the town hall use policy, and the town administrator hiring update. And I guess if people have comments, just get them back to Gabe, because we can exchange comments. So, yeah.
But thank you for that work on the town administrator. That was good to start us off.
Yeah, it was great to find one that was up on the MMA website, so I think when they put something up, it's been vetted. And yeah, and that it was pretty thorough. I had to, tweak sections to reflect our situation. But and if anyone has a good description, I mean, I'm sure it's been in grant applications that we've done where there's a like introduction to Shutesbury. I didn't have time to look. There's nothing really on our website that, gives the whole kind of town intro, who we are, the population, I put some of that in there, but it needs beefing up a little bit.
Okay, we've got about 3 minutes before the tree hearing. Is there something else that we can jump ahead with?
You want to just do the Joe Comerford visit?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes, that was on.
So Joe Comerford office got back to me on December 17th at 6 p.m. If we do a meeting earlier, she would like to be able to come earlier. So I don't know yet how the agenda is going to shake out, but we could put her first.
Oh, that's a great idea, because we can work on it.
And then if you have any questions about anything, or people, if people want to ask questions on what's happening with the train out of Greenfield or any of that, please send the questions to the select board email. And then the select board are the ones, the 3 of you will present any questions that you have to Joe. So it's not a public town meeting. So the public won't be able to ask Joe questions. We're doing it, she wants to do it through the 3 of you. So if anybody has any questions, please send it to the select board email, and then we will go through them and prioritize the ones. And if you folks have any about what program is working on or any of that, and we can, you can ask them.
So they want to know in advance.
They do.
Okay.
So she'd like us to send what we have in advance so that she can help background or whatever.
Okay.
So December 17th at 6.
Minute or less than a minute before we have 15, so I don't know that we can fit anything else in that time frame. So let me just make sure, Dave, you can hear us okay, so you can participate as you need to. Okay, good.
Yep.
You can take, okay, great. All right, so why don't we start? Would you two like to introduce yourselves as we start going into the tree hearing?
I'm Ryan Kress. I'm the arborist with National Grid that did the assessments for the 2 circuits that we're working around.
Ryan, can you just project a little bit more, because it's hard to hear with that fan in the background.
Yell all the way to Lake.
Yeah.
My name is Ryan Kress. I'm an arborist with National Grid. I'm the one who did these tree assessments along the lines for the 2 circuits that we're going to work on. One of those circuits is the 705W1, which is the north side of the lake, and the part of the west side of the lake. going up and around like Lakeview and, Prentice Pond. And, the other circuit that we're looking to do, is the Pratt Corner Circuit, which we had previously worked on under EVM, 4 or 5 years ago. We cleaned out all of that and the main drag through here. We're just coming back through to kind of grab anything that's dead or dying, trees that are infested with emerald ash borer, stuff like that. Because unfortunately, we're starting to lose all of our ash trees. There's declining maples and such in town also, which is a surprise. And pretty much that's what we're coming down through to do is clean that stuff up. Grid built a new section of three-phase, which connects those two circuits now. So we're looking to protect that as part of the work that we're doing for the hearings today. And that connects the circuit in Wendell to the circuit that comes out of Pratt's Corner. That way grid can kind of backfeed during storms, so that you'll have another option to get the line back up and running for at least some of the customers in town when stuff happens. So if something happens, down at Pratt's Corner, we can potentially backfeed the rest of the circuit and isolate Pratt's Corner so that only Pratt's Corner is out. And get everybody else's power back up a little quicker. So that line becomes kind of essential. And so we're looking to come through and clean out all the stuff that's dead, all the stuff that's dying, and anything that we look at that would be a probable issue within the next, 3-4 years.
My name is Joe King. I'm the forestry supervisor for the EVM and hazard tree program, board certified master arborist. Ryan is a certified arborist as well through the International Society of Arboriculture. Just to kind of recap what Ryan had said, basically, we're looking to improve reliability for the residents of Shutesbury and Wendell. The two circuits that Ryan mentioned have recently been, we'll say, upgraded to create that feeder tie. And again, it's just to help isolate if there are any tree caused outages. That way, like Ryan mentioned, we can backfeed and try to restore as many customers as quickly and as safely as possible. So on the hearing for tonight, Ryan can go into more detail as he was the arborist that inspected the trees. But we are looking to remove approximately 16 town-owned trees that are various stages of either dead, decline, or decay.
Okay. All right, and we haven't done a tree hearing in a long time. So the public, I can put this, that someone had sent us, Ryan, I think it was you, or had sent us this PowerPoint. I'm gonna put this up on screen so that the residents can see the files. Put this here, back up. Share this.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just emailed some pictures of the trees kind of in order in case anybody hadn't had a chance to go out and drive them and look at them. All of the trees were posted, so if anybody wanted to check the list and go out and look at them, they could. I sent that for selecting, because people are busy, they don't always get a chance to take a look, so we should try to put something together.
Although someone has driven by, I believe that.
So I'm just gonna read this while you're getting that. So it said, town trees located within the public way that are designated for mitigation have been posted with a notice of public hearing in the field, meaning on the trees themselves.
Correct.
I thought I saw like in the picture. And the trees designated for removal have been marked with a small red ribbon. Trees designated for pruning have been marked with a small blue ribbon. So if anybody sees those trees adjacent to their property, red is removal, blue is trimming.
And part of our, sorry to interrupt, but part of our policy too is we generally seek authorization from the closest abutter. So they are made aware that we're proposing this work with the town as well. We don't proceed with the work until we get the actual tree owner's authorization. But part of our notification process is letting the closest landowner know what our proposed work is.
And so what is the timing then of the,
So we
Work.
started the work on this particular circuit, starting in Wendell, and we're kind of working our way down. That's why we split this project or these two circuits into 2 town hearings to try to get at least this portion of the work authorized, and the crews can kind of work right into this. So I would estimate within 3-month time frame. It could be sooner, but that's roughly what we're looking at.
great, thank you.
Hold on a second. All right, double.
You go knock on doors or do you do mailings? You knock on doors?
Both.
Both.
A lot of the homeowners aren't necessarily home delivery based, we also leave door hangers
Oh,
for
okay.
paperwork for people moving. Most of my interaction ends up being via that, and then people call me. And then if they have, any serious questions or they can't find the trees or anything like that, we just schedule something with them.
Melissa, can I ask you a question?
You can ask them.
Cool. Just to clarify, you said that the town owned trees, but then you're knocking on doors for homeowners, so.
Correct.
It's both privately owned trees and town owned trees?
The full scope of our work does include privately owned and publicly owned trees, but in cases where it is publicly owned trees, we do still at least notify the abutter. And we try to get their authorization as well, just to show to the town that the closest resident is on board with the proposed work. There are instances where a close abutter may not be in agreement, in which case we try to work with the town. If the town determines it is a significant enough, and they want the tree down, then it's notifying the resident that the tree is coming down. But we try to, establish good public relations.
And within the bounds of Shutesbury, what's the total number of trees between private and public? You said 16, but I don't know.
16 town-owned trees.
And then how many private?
I don't actually remember off the top of my head the number of private for that section of line. Did I finish that quite a while ago? I've been working on 8 miles of the other circuit. So I've got
Kind of ballpark.
60 maybe trees-ish.
The only reason I asked is, I don't know if a year ago, I don't remember the town, but it was on the other side of the river. It was this huge controversy in one of the hill towns where like all these old oaks just got decimated. I think it was national clearing, so. You guys determined that it was necessary, but I know there was a huge uproar.
So we don't have a right to remove trees on public or private property without authorization.
Okay.
So unless it's a storm event, if something's actively
Yeah.
broken or deemed a hazard. So in cases like that, maybe it's local townsfolk were fully aware of what was happening, but the closest landowner or the actual tree owner most likely was.
Okay. Thank you.
We do remove the wood unless the homeowner wants it. So if there's any debris left behind, we do come back and clean all that up unless the homeowner, like I said, wants to burn wood or things. We try to leave the form in there.
Okay, good work to the last time.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so now we have this up here. This is gonna show us the trees that they are proposing to cut. You all went through the list there. Read that.
Yes.
I will show this one. So this is tree 1. Would either of you like to explain to just quickly?
So off the top of my head, that was a black cherry.
Okay,
You see the front leaf that's coming off, it's already dead, it's already falling apart. Got behind it, you can see the bark is already coming off that lower section of the tree. Most likely it's entirely dead. There were a few sections of it that were alive when I was initially there, they probably aren't now. But there wasn't really much to it, and the trunk of the tree was already beginning to rot out.
I'm just gonna go quickly through these so people can see. We don't explain each of them, just give an example of what they're looking at for a tree. So these are some of the more, I'm just gonna scroll through them for the public so they can see the trees. And as we know here in Shutesbury, decaying trees do become dangerous.
Oh, I know that tree.
And that's,
Exactly.
yeah, that's that.
Like I said,
Giant pine tree that's starting to lean the road.
We're not short on trees. Oh, now that one's easily identified.
Yeah, that one is.
So this whole red pine cluster is all up on my camp property.
Yeah.
So red pine isn't natural to Massachusetts, and as our summers have been hotter and warmer, more pests have been more aggressive with them. It's causing all the trees to die, basically south of New Hampshire. New Hampshire north is the normal area where you would naturally find them. But the pests and disease pressure on the trees have been so bad over about the last decade that even if you talk to VCR around the Quabbin, most of their red pine have died. And we're gonna continue to kind of see that where the red pine, the needle cast. You could actually, the funny part was the day I tagged that, there was a lady who stopped to ask me what was going on. You could hear the borers eating the tree, because it's very loud. And she couldn't figure out what it was, and I was like, yeah, it's in that tree right there, and then if you listen, there's one in the tree that's a little further down.
So there's ash borers and borers?
There's borers for almost every type of tree there is.
Okay.
But ones that are in the pine trees, I think it was probably pine borer, is very, very loud. I have a lot of intimate knowledge about them because in college, forestry school, we cut up a bunch of pine logs and used them as furniture throughout the dorms. And about 5 weeks later, thousands and thousands of beetles running around inside the dorm.
Inside the building.
Yeah. So, but you can see they're all dying off, they turn brown, they die really quick. So all of the ones by that camp are starting to die, so I just tagged all of them, if we get them all out at once, a lot easier than waiting for it, we can get that on them.
That looks like more of that.
And those were thinning pine trees. That one there, if you look on the left side, there's an old cut there. You can see what carpenter ants are starting to get on the inside of the tree. So they vertically tunnel through decay in the tree, which substantially weakens the tree, increases the risk of breakage of the trunk.
Which pines are already susceptible to?
Yep, softer.
Softer, yeah. This one, if you're looking, you can see the limbs on the pine, backside, up towards the top are thinning. Some of the lower pine limbs are already dead. Unfortunately, the picture was a little cut off at the top. Some of the top is even thinning out and dying. And you'll see that a lot as you drive up that road. You'll spot pines here and there that are all starting to thin out and die. So we're trying to get those because they probably won't last another few years, maybe. Trying to clean those out. Down around the lake, you can see the water. If you look at the picture on the backside, that's where the little bridge over the lake is there. And you can see the rot in that pine, cavities and the decay in that maple there. And then another, also dead pine.
Yeah.
Dead pine.
Okay, thank you. All right, so those trees are, the suggestion is to get rid of them and to cut them down. You need a vote from us to authorize you to do that work. Does anyone have questions for either of the authors?
Assuming the camp is fine with all the ones you want to cut down, right?
They have already signed off. Yep. So generally, the way I'll do it is I'll usually go through everything with the tree warden. I let them know any customers that are opposed to the work. And usually we try to, before the meetings, try to meet with them, with the customer and with the tree warden and kind of go over things to see what their sticking points are, what the issue is. Sometimes just the customers don't realize that they can keep the wood. And, sometimes there's other issues and then the tree warden can look at them. So they're usually pretty knowledgeable about the refusals that we'll have. And I'll usually bring those up while we're going through the trees. But as far as this circuit goes, I don't think I had any refusals at all in this upper section. And the lower section, the permissioning is going pretty well also. I do have one homeowner who I'm still trying to get a hold of. They don't live in town that I'm aware of. It was a mailer and it came back to me as undeliverable. It's actually for a woodlot by the corner of Wendell Road there at that intersection. So.
As it pertains to these 16 trees, though, there were no issues.
Yeah, it was just those, it was just those dead cherry trees. So.
Does the public have any, this is a public hearing. Do you have any questions on Zoom or in the room? No? Okay. All right, do I hear a motion to give National Grid permission to remove these trees at the location?
So moved.
Second,
All those in favor?
Carol, I.
Stalker,
McPherson, O'Neill, aye. Dave, we have 2 things for you to sign, and I offered to bring them to you in the morning, unless you guys were gonna be into town in the morning. Okay. And then we can email that to them. Is that okay, Dave? You, okay?
Yes, you can do that. I won't be there in the morning. I got trees coming down at my house, getting ready for winter, but anytime after. Yeah, I'll be in later in the morning. You
Just
can drop
text
them
me.
off. I'll sign them.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Have a good holiday.
You too. Okay. Next item we have We already talked about the times, the job description, we already really talked about, so let's move on to the MRF extension grant.
So you have a document, it's a grant extension for the Western Massachusetts Regional Recycling Program. And Franklin Regional Council of Government is the one that handles that, and they have done a contract. There's 70 communities that belong to that, and so we need to get a vote and sign the contract for the extension, MRF extension.
And MRF, I know we tend to use acronyms and
So it is with the Springfield Materials Recycling Facility.
okay. So that's for all of our.
That's for all of our dual recycling materials.
Okay,
And the current contract is renewing June 30th, 25. It terminates on June 30th, 25, and we have to have this in place no later than December 31st, I believe. It says, and if anybody wants to look at the actual document, they can go to a website and look at it. They can email me and I can send them the website name if you want to see the complete document. But it has definitions of how it's all handled and the processing facility and all of that. So this is an extension while they work on a new contract.
okay. So that needs to be signed by all of us, right? That's right. I'm gonna put that on the top of the file here.
So, do I hear a motion to sign the material recycling facility extension project?
So I move that we sign the contract extension, and it looks like I just want to get it right here. Let's say the way it's worded, with the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection and the WM Recycle America for the processing of recyclables.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Carol, I.
Stocker,
Make you show me on. Okay. And the next is, ECAC is wanting select board to support a grant for decarbonization. And Michael, and we're going to, may bring us up to date, okay.
I'll get you up to date.
Fine.
That's good.
Yeah.
So,
Remember to speak.
Thank you,
the
Kate,
hour.
for doing that.
Yes.
apologies on the short notice. We had short notice too. So if you remember at town meeting, we almost did a stretch code and then we pulled it back because we realized we did a public hearing. So it's all of a piece where there's a new DOER grant, well, new DOR program, just like we have green communities. This is the new version. So it's the
Department of Revenue.
Department of Energy Resources.
That's why you asked.
And the recycling thing is called a MRF. Which I guess.
Smurf. Oh, okay. Like Smurf? but Smurf.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the new program is the Climate Leaders Community Program. So it's sort of Green Communities Plus. And you've got to do a few things to be eligible. It's been around about a year. So you have to be a green community of good standing, which we are. You have to have an energy and climate committee, which we have. And then there's 3 policies that we're going to bring to town meeting. We're just waiting till later, like early winter, we're going to do a committee forum to sort of prep for town meeting. But one's an adoption to a resolution to decarbonize by 2050. So it's mostly a statement of intent. There's a zero emission first policy. So for our vehicles, when we can have zero emission. And then the third is specialized opt-in code that we talked about. So those are the 3 things that ECAC has already written and approved. We're just sort of waiting. And the last part of it is you have to have a decarbonization roadmap. So if you're committing to decarbonizing by 2050, you have to have a plan. So it's a little complicated in terms of all the moving parts, just like the MVP grant and all the other stuff. So you can get grant funding from DOER
to get a consultant to help you to do it. And when we checked with our DOER contact a few months ago, he was like, you have to wait. And then I ended up communicating with the head of the program 2 weeks ago, and she said, oh, no. You know, if you want to submit now, you can do it now, and you just have to demonstrate that you've made progress. So there's more communities apparently that are interested that they could fund, but we met last week, I think it was, and decided it's worthwhile going. Gabe, do you know Nate? This is Nate Hurd.
Hi.
This is Gabe. So the grant deadline is Friday, so a little crazy. It just has to get emailed in. If you guys approve it, Nate's gonna handle the submission. And there's 2 things you just have to sign. So I sent them to Gabe. One is just a commitment letter that I wrote up that basically says everything I just said.
Yeah.
So we're well positioned, we're trying hard, we have good intent. And we have to commit, once we get the grant, to do the roadmap within a year. So that seems reasonable. And then the other one is a certification of application, which is really just a simple form that basically says that the select board, and I think it'd probably be either whoever wants to be the chair signing it. Basically saying that everything in the application is true as far as you know. And the last thing I'd say, because if you're going to sign that, you want to know what the application says. It's shockingly short.
I didn't notice that.
We did,
It's
we got, yeah,
it's
you sent
crazy.
it to us.
Yeah, it's like, there's not even a blurb to like really make your point.
Mhm.
So there's not much that can be fictitious in here. So I think you could sign it, not worrying that you're saying something is not accurate. So that's our pitch. I don't think, were you able to?
So in your signing packet tonight are both letters ready to be signed on town
Love
letterhead.
it.
And you can sign it during the meeting if you want, and then I would like a copy of it. So if you folks want a copy it, you can take it with you tonight.
Cool.
If, once they do their motion.
They
and
just
what
go
they need
upstairs
to do,
and they
right?
Okay, that would be great.
So we just need this signature from the chair. Melissa's chairing tonight, so, should we do the vote first?
Sure. Do
Okay.
you want separate votes for each
I-
one or all together? Which would you
Um,
prefer? How prefer,
I-
how would we like to, maybe each separately in case they.
Yeah,
separately,
yeah.
separate.
But I first have a question. So what is the grant amount? I didn't see one on the.
There isn't any, we get a consultant.
I see, so they pre-screen and
Yeah.
pre-select the consultants. That's actually kind of nice, so you don't have to go through the whole procurement.
Right, and there's very little detail. So
Uh-huh.
like, there's not a list of consultants that you can pick
Oh,
from
that's
yet.
weird, yeah.
I mean, it might exist somewhere on some website, but I couldn't find it. It's brand new. I think they're figuring this out as they go.
Uh-huh.
That's my general sense, but we don't get a dollar amount.
I see, so they assign the consultant then to do this plan, the roadmap.
Yeah.
For the town.
And,
Okay.
and I think it just gets done. I don't think it needs town meeting approval or anything.
That should be put together.
Okay.
Or should be the one.
Oh, yes.
Very
sorry,
good, sorry.
And I think the top one, Michael, is it the big one that needs all 3 signatures?
The
The letter?
lead, I don't know if we need all 3 signatures, but it couldn't hurt just.
Well,
for
we could
emphasis.
put all 3 on.
You
Yeah.
can put.
Yeah,
What
for
we
the,
usually just
the one
go
that-
across the page.
yeah, the one to Joanne Becerra, which is the commitment letter.
Yeah.
That's probably all 3, and then the certification just needs 1.
One, yeah.
Okay, so I'll start by making a motion to execute the certification letter for the decarbonization planning grant.
Second.
All right, any further questions or discussion? No, all in favor?
Carol, I.
Stocker,
Maybe Sonia, aye. And if you wanna,
And then I'll make a motion to execute the cover letter confirming Shutesbury's commitment to meet the all climate leader community requirements within 1 year of receipt of the decarbonization roadmap. Okay.
second.
any further questions, discussion? All those in favor?
Carol, I.
Stocker,
Maybe Sonia, aye. I'm gonna send this down so we can sign it now and send it off.
All right.
Thank you all. Thank you, Gabe.
You're welcome.
So there's one more vote that you need though, right?
I think just those 2. Yeah.
That was the,
We don't need one to.
I just wanted to make sure that was the. Wasn't there one that said that was a
Right
certification?
here.
Yes,
And
that's a
that
single
one.
signature.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And just while I got your attention, so the preview for the spring is we'll do this town public session. We'll go over the policies, just to make sure everyone's okay with it, understands it, and then eventually we'll send it off to you guys to put on the warrant.
Okay, so you can take those two.
Yes, we'll go upstairs, make copies, and then we'll come back.
And so at what time, so when we have the discussion at warrant at the town meeting, is that the one, is that when we talk about the stretch code?
Yeah.
We want to have, because I know that's the controversial issue.
It is, Nate's really good at describing it.
Right.
I think the thing I would say, so of those three, they really actually, so the resolution, which is decarbonized by 2050, it's just a resolution. It says, if we can, we are planning to do this. And then with the interesting thing with the zero emission, which is another place that could have pushback, there's all these caveats. We literally just took the DOER language, but it basically says, if you can do it, you should do it. So like, there's no electric dump trucks, so it's impossible to do. But if you can get a police car, we would do it. So the things that we're able to do, or if it doesn't create financial burden on the town. So there's a lot of outs. And the stretch code, you got a lot to do. You didn't really want to talk about this now, did you?
No, I didn't mean to talk, I just wanted to know, it was, we haven't committed ourselves to the stretch code. but-
No.
That's right.
No.
Yeah, right. That's-
Yeah,
Does it
no.
plan to come back to annual town meeting with the stretch code?
Yes.
Yes,
That's what, that was my question.
the
Yeah.
only thing that I was gonna add is that, even if, we bring these components of this plan to, town meeting and the votes fail, there's still value in developing this roadmap, because we're gonna learn a lot about where the town sits in terms of its emissions. It'll help us prioritize our thinking about what sort of activities we can actually be focused on. It just seems like a really good opportunity, and if we don't get this grant this round, we can try again. They do it 3 times a year, so it's a rolling window, if you will, so
Yeah.
we thought we'd just jump on it.
Our original thinking was we would wait to town meeting and then do it right after. But it seems like might as well get in the door now if we can.
Yeah,
Sure.
Great. Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
We'll bring this back momentarily.
okay,
Cool.
great.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, sure.
And now to the EMPP, Emergency Management Project or Program Grant, which we are not quite sure exactly what it means, for Lenny. And was there something he was asking for in that?
It is the extension, it's the next payment for the fire study that you folks are doing through the Collins.
Oh, okay,
It's the $30,000.
okay.
So the contract is in there. There's the contract and the front page that needs to be done. You can do that after the meeting, but you do need a vote on it. On contracts, you typically take a little bit.
We did, yeah, we always do. So in that case, do I hear a motion to sign the EMPG grant extension for the 30,000?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, I move that we sign the grant for, the emergency, what is it called,
Emergency Management Program.
program grant, okay. For the regionalization study.
Second. How's that?
All those in favor?
Farrell, I.
Dr.
Maybe so, no, aye. Okay. And the newsletter, so this was a thought that I had, kind of a thought in the hallway, that I had, and I spoke a little bit to Gabe about it and Abby. And we send out the newsletter to the entire town in paper. And I was wondering if we might consider, doing it electronically. And then those who want to receive it in paper could. And the thought process, or my thought process behind that was, we spend thousands to print them and thousands to mail them. And I would love to think everybody keeps that newsletter for eternity, but we know that they often they're just recycled. So thinking of saving the paper and saving that designated funds, maybe do it in a better way.
I think it's a great plan, unless it's, I mean, especially if people can get the paper copy if they want one.
Right, and so we would come up with a plan to figure out if there was anyone who wanted one. So my thought was, and this needs to be hashed out a little bit more, Abby's got some background with doing some electronic emailing and mailings. And she's able to track the data and who opens them and that sort of thing, so we'll know how many people are engaging with the email. But coming up with a way to ask people if they'd like paper or electronic. And then, going forward with that and being able to track the data, of who's opening them, is also, we can see the engagement on that as well. So that was kind of a precursor to that discussion.
So we would send out a town
Now,
announce.
then this thing, our newsletter has been created, the link below, click the link below and have it come back to the website.
And if
then
you want,
click it, do that, yeah.
and then if you want a paper version.
Yeah,
paper
yeah,
copy.
and maybe we can come up with a little way.
Have a good holiday, guys.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you too, Michael.
Maybe work with the council on aging, because I have a feeling that the group of people who might want it, papers may reside in that cohort.
Yeah.
Of demographic, but, so that is the thought, and thinking we could save some money and some trees, since that was on topic for tonight.
There, I do want to say that there are a lot of people without computers, and we would be sensitive to that. And they could sign up and we will continue the mailing to them, so they wouldn't lose that right.
Right.
But we are trying to be more considerate of the environment with all the paper and all of that.
And there could be some here in town hall for people to pick up, but there could be some at the post office.
Right.
Right.
We could
Just
have them
leave some
available, yeah.
places, okay.
I like it.
I do see Gail and Hazard, do you mind if we take a comment? Go ahead, Gail.
I was wondering, I didn't hear how you're going to get hold of the people to ask this question.
Well, that hasn't been hashed out yet. It may be.
Okay. I mean, the
working
same
with-
problem with people who don't want computers. You can't ask electronically because you're not gonna, that's a real issue. Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yeah, we realize that. And so we can maybe determine that a little bit with broadband, a little, so, what people don't have a computer.
Yeah.
Or internet.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we could check with Gail Huntress.
Yeah, she would be able to help the council on aging, be able to help determine, or any of us who might know someone who doesn't have a computer, but we'll figure out who would prefer paper and go from there. So that was just a thought I had standing in the hallway there, so. If you guys are okay, I guess we could move ahead with that. Move ahead.
Yeah, I think it's fine to certainly investigate, figure out how to do it.
All right. Thank you. Okay, we're down to administrator updates.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with the PFAS. And I have been, in discussion with Jeffrey Arps. He's not available to come meet with me at the moment. So, what we are gonna probably do is do a Zoom meet, and we have to catch up on the whole program, because I'm not familiar with it. And there's a lot that we need to learn. So one of the things we have done, thank you to, you folks, actually, because you did the work on it, is contacted Geneva, who was here prior, and she was familiar with the letters and how to get them out or whatever. And so Abby and her hopefully are gonna get together on Fridays and start the process of that. So Jeffrey and I are going to meet via Zoom and go over, what the schedule is, because I don't have a schedule when these letters get out, what the process is on that. The other thing we're looking into is the funding and getting the loan borrowed, and that's in progress. The only thing left to do on that is I need to actually write a letter as to the necessity of the borrowing. And Jeffrey's gonna help me with that because it needs to be detailed, describing why. And of course, I can tell you why, but I can't tell you the nuts and bolts of it. So he's offered to help us with that and give it more definition. I know there's a better word for that. So that is the PFAS update that I have right now, and it's actually moving to the front of things I need to do. I've worked on an awful lot of stuff, invoices, some town issues. I can report that the highway trucks have new windshields.
yeah.
So that made David very happy, and he was wonderful in taking care of that. So we've got those done. We're in good shape with all our trucks going out if there's snow. So my next thing was the town meeting setup. So I have no idea what your system here is, and because it's in the next week or so, I just wanted some guidance on, number one, who prints the special town meeting warrant out and has it ready to be picked up by the people that come through the door.
That's been a combination of.
We do it, it's done in-house.
So is it done by the select board, or is it done by your town clerk, or is it done, who's it done by?
I would assume we have the administrative secretary do it.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So how many copies do you?
I would guess for this town meeting, we might need 150.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we also need the Wi-Fi password so that if anyone wants to look it up on the website on their phone.
So is the Wi-Fi password the school?
Yeah, they
Yes.
usually set up a temporary one for us for that evening.
Okay,
Um,
so the school, who opens the building, who sets up the chairs?
The school does.
The
So
school
when
does.
we made the, and we should, I'll double check with the principal, but when we made the request to use the school, we wrote how many chairs we wanted set up, and so they know, and so they've been, they've been great about just, taking care of all of that.
Okay, so they break it down at the end of the night as well?
So that's been a combination, so we do not touch the benches, the custodian takes care of those in the morning. Sometimes people do help with the chairs.
So
They're like rolling benches that, it's not all just individual chairs.
You-
It's their
They
table,
just-
basically, it's their
Yeah.
table, flipped up back, flipped up in the table. And they told us not to touch, put those back.
But
The
we're
chairs, we
responsible for
will
folding the chairs and putting them on the carts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because that, I'm used to cleaning up after town meeting, but there's usually, the town clerk helps me, it's myself.
And there's often some residents that do have.
Okay, I just don't want to be alone till midnight.
Well, no, we'll stick around.
We use.
Yeah, okay.
And the police officers use here, they're.
And then the school locks up.
That's a good question. I'll check on
We'll
that.
check
Yeah,
with the school.
that's a great question, because I don't know. Who did.
So lock up, set up.
And we usually use the microphones and that's the school. Eric is usually a great assistant with that.
So how do you folks do the motions?
The motions are typically were written by Becky and given to us,
And we read them on a script.
and we read them.
Okay, so the special town meeting, so the articles above, do you just move the motion below, motion to, and read the motion?
Becky would give us actually a separate sheet that just had the motions on it for each one of the items.
And so we read the article on the warrant.
That's what I needed.
Yes.
Read the article.
So we take turns, we would each take an article, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then,
Motion, and then you
make
would
the motion.
select board approves this or article or.
We never said who did. We just read what the motions and move to, and then we read. And then someone seconds it.
Okay, so I need to know what to write on these things, so.
I'll send you the one from.
Oh,
town meeting.
excellent, if you can send me
Last-
that,
An
yeah, that would be
example,
great.
So from the annual town meeting,
Because believe it or not, different towns do it differently, there's
Yeah.
no one set rule, I don't wanna.
and I don't think we ever had them in advance.
No, they were always put in front of us for
Yeah.
that day.
Yeah, no, it's no.
But I would think, I mean, given the timing now, yeah,
We maybe should have them.
Okay,
But,
so then, when you read the article and it's seconded, you guys second the motion, does the FinCom recommend? Because usually
Yes, then,
FinCom sits,
It's printed on, usually printed on the warrant.
We don't
Warrant,
ever say.
um,
you don't ever say that. All right.
Well, it's printed on the warrant, but it's handed out to people.
Okay.
It says, FinCom approved, disapproved, whatever. that
Right,
is.
so right now on the warrant, I have that the FinCom voted 7-0. for
Yeah,
the-
that's it. That's-
Is that
that's-
sufficient,
I think so.
or should we write FinCom recommends?
No, I don't think, on our motion, no.
No, I mean, when after you guys are done.
Yeah,
Then it usually goes to FinCom and FinCom says we recommend. These are only with money articles that they have a voice.
right. I think, have you spoken with the moderator at all? Oh,
I have, I didn't, go over the details with him. He knows he's there, he's gonna be there, I confirmed all of
So
that.
this was ultimately edited, but see how it says the article number and then I moved the town Shutesbury
Yeah.
vote to, and then what we're doing.
Okay.
And then, and that's all we say for each, that's all we have said
Okay,
for each one, and perfectly alternate.
I
forward this.
so, yeah, if you send that to me, I'll get it done.
I see Gail has her hand raised. Gail? Gail?
The agenda refers to the select board meeting as the special town meeting as hybrid. I had understood that by state regs, the special town meeting and annual town meeting must be in person, not hybrid.
That's true, we haven't had it as hybrid, we'll adjust the agenda for that.
Yeah, it doesn't say that. on
Where
the
does it say on the agenda?
It says it on the town.
Future hybrid select board meetings, special town meeting Tuesday, December 3rd.
Yeah, yeah, it does say, it, right.
Well, we will just take off the word, that was, we'll take off hybrid and we'll just have it as,
It would be true for a select board meeting, but not for a special town meeting.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so that helps me tremendously with that.
But if it's true for the, is a select board gonna meet at the school?
People are having trouble when we're talking to each other.
Oh,
Like,
sorry.
So we have to like talk.
I can
about-
bring that, if we bring the thing closer.
Yeah, so what did you say, Kurt?
No, I mean, to the question, like, to Gail's question, if the select board meets in a hybrid fashion before the town, in special town meeting,
We're not,
we're
we're
not.
not meeting, we can't meet in the hybrid fashion.
Okay, we're
at the
not, so we're
school.
just not that day, okay,
So we're meeting, but
But not
it's in
hybrid.
person.
okay, that's, just to clarify that.
We'll make sure that says in person for the.
Okay.
So, the next thing I have is the Zoom update on the Zoom. And we had a very good meeting today with the Zoom company Zoom on a Zoom, which I think cracks me up, but anyway.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's good they're confident.
Yeah, so, it's really exciting. We can bring all the Zooms under an umbrella, a business Zoom. We can have our own branding, so we can have our town of Shutesbury seal with a picture of town of Shutesbury, but everybody would work under the Zoom umbrella. And we would pull in the school, we would pull in the library, and we would pull in, there's somebody else that has their own Zoom. Cemetery Commission. It doesn't mean that they lose what they're doing. So it's 10 licenses. So the library would get a new license. So we would pull them in, they would get a license that is dedicated just to the library and the friends of the library. So those two groups could sign up for whatever Zoom meetings. You can have 10 Zoom meetings at the same time.
Yeah.
So in the 5 days I've been here, present days I've been here, we had 4 meetings scheduled for the same time frame. We have 2 Zoom accounts. It's craziness. It's
Yeah,
pure craziness.
Absolutely.
So, and I found myself driving home and having to turn on a Zoom, driving home and having to turn on a Zoom, and then turn it over. This solves all of that. So everybody, all the departments will get assigned their own Zoom. They like say, let's take, conservation, for instance. He will have his own Zoom And they will have they have three boards they represent.
So
So,
the land use clerk.
right,
Right.
the land use, they will have three, the school will have one. So the school, you're saving all these monies that we're paying. So the interesting part was, it's only $2,200 to have 10 Zooms. And we are now paying 2,500 and something. Or more for the variety that we have, which is unwieldy.
Which doesn't work.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
unwieldy.
definitely good.
So the other part to that is to pay the other $1,000 for the storage in cloud storage. So we have a terabyte of cloud storage of all our Zoom meetings. I think you need to keep that because it goes to YouTube, but anybody can come back and see that. The other thing we get by turning it over to a business license is online support. So if somebody is out there and they're trying to book a Zoom and none of us are available, they can go directly to online support and they will help them book it. That does not happen right now. The other thing that they will do is, I'm losing my train of thought because
We have the AI option.
yes, we have the AI option.
Which we're
is
trying
So
tonight.
exciting. We're trying it out tonight. We didn't know we had it. So the AI option records minutes for this meeting.
Oh, I saw that.
Yes.
You know, one time I
For
was looking for
printable
something.
minutes, you
Yes.
can print them out.
You can print them out.
And
Yeah,
yes,
they
and
don't
that-
need editing, because I've watched it a whole times. The names are a little,
yeah.
but it's there.
So all your boards that are booking the meetings can use this feature. See, you have a lot of boards that are not posting minutes for the meetings. So all your boards, not just us, but all your boards can download this, review it, and type up their meetings, clarify it. They don't have to use it verbatim, but it is, and he showed us several meeting minutes, and it was pretty comprehensive.
Yeah.
And
No,
I really
I
like
think
that.
I don't even know how I happened to find it, and I'm saying, who did this?
Yes.
Because it was a select board meeting that we'd had, and I thought,
So the
Yeah.
AI part
So
is
fun.
part of your, what you're having
Yeah,
right
that's
now
great.
on Zoom.
The other thing was each meeting could be 300 participants.
Yes,
So you're already at 300, like you
Yep.
said, 10 meetings at a time.
yep.
It does give the control over to the people that are assigned. And the one question I asked the gentleman today was, or he showed us, was you can assign a license. Say we have an ad hoc group that forms, like the safety committee kind of, like,
Yeah.
and they're a limited amount of time. So you can assign a license to them for that time, and then you can pull it back, and then give it to another group. So you have that flexibility too. You manage, so you have one account that manages 10 licenses. Right. Which is.
Can you have more licenses if
You can add more if you need more, and then you pay for them.
I don't
as
see it
you go.
right now, but
So each license is $21 a month.
21.99.
Yeah, each license is. They will bill us, which is exciting. So we will sign a PO, and actually I already have it, and in your packet that I gave you tonight is the document that I would like permission to sign. So I do need a vote from you guys if you're willing to do that.
And by paying it ahead of time, it drops it.
It drops the price.
$3.67 a license.
Per
that's,
license. So
So,
the cost
Yeah.
is $3,400 for all of it. And then we do have to roll it out, so we can't just do it tomorrow. We have to roll it out and train people, and then we need. It's a public meeting, sure, welcome. So we have to roll it out, and then we have to explain to the school to roll them in, and for them to notify their committees that the Zoom assignment is changing. And the same thing with the library, and the same thing with the cemetery, so nothing will change. Everything they're doing is going to be the same, except now they will have a different sign-in, and they can assign 2 people to sign in. So if we assign them a Zoom account, they can have the main person who runs the meeting, and then they can have a secondary person who can start a meeting. So that's one of the problems here, is if I'm not available, or whoever's not available, start that meeting, or you get stuck in traffic, or you have a family emergency. John Smith, who's your second in command, can go in and start the Zoom and keep the thing rolling. And so he was really good at explaining our options and all of that. So the contract is sent, it's actually it's a proposal, it's sent via DocuSign. So if you wanna go, if one of you wants to be the one to sign on it, you can go on DocuSign, I'll send you the link. Or you can give me permission to just sign it and go forth and start the implementation of it. It has been rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
been
rough
great.
for me to figure out who does what, and, you know, I think Becky did an outstanding job of trying to keep it all going. But how anybody can control an octopus is beside. It's just because there's so many arms and legs and so many people that need meetings. This will solve the problem.
So if we only have 10 though, we have more than 10 committees, how are we doing the assignment?
So the committees that are not, say they meet like once every 3 months, that's what recycling told me. They don't meet very often. So you would maybe put recycling on with the conservation.
No, conservation means a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you
One of
may
the other
put
ones that-
cemetery and recycling, you will take.
LWAC,
Yeah,
Correct,
you,
use once a
you
month.
pick your people, and then the cool thing about Zoom too is they now have a calendar. So if you activate the calendar, you can go on and it'll give you all the times and dates available. So if you're booking, it's sort of like a doodle poll. If you're booking and you see Concom has, and I'm picking on them because they have a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
They have, you know, they have revolving meetings that are always on Tuesday night, always at 7 o'clock. Well, then you know that you can have 9 o'clock, or I'm just picking numbers, but you can have Monday night, or you can have Wednesday night, or they're not meeting the 12th of November, so you can pick the 12th of November. So it really is very comprehensive. And it seems very easy to use. I don't think it's complicated. And once you do it a couple of times, it's really easy to use. And I do believe he said it, I'm not sure, did he say it could connect? No, I think we have to copy and paste still into the Shutesbury.
It is for
That's-
us, there are platforms that Zoom, when you schedule a meeting in Zoom, it would post it on a place, like he used Civics Plus was one of the.
Civics Plus.
But so they integrate with each other, so if you post a meeting in Zoom, it'll pop up on that evening, on that calendar for the public,
Yeah.
with that information, right? So, that may be a future benefit we use, who knows? But he was very helpful and explained everything very well. And if we decide we need 11 licenses, we can add one at some point, if it's prorated, so then, you know.
Can
like
you add one
11
month,
licenses.
take it off the next month, or you just add it? You know,
So here's the thing, if we pay the licenses annually, you are stuck with the annual. If you pay it monthly, you can add and subtract. So I'm not sure, we figured out today, if we bring everyone on board, it's about $450 a year the town saves. Now, that may not sound like much, but if you save 1,000 in postage and 450 here, you're helping the budget.
well,
out.
your time and just
Yeah.
setting it all up. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable, what,
Yeah.
how that much better it is.
And I think overall, you may end up saving more than that, because the, the cemetery commission doesn't have that. We had figured out it was $59 a month for the two, so 59 times 2. And then there's the library, the school, and the cemetery commission, maybe the fire department, so that's 59 times 5.
So the
You know,
town two Zooms right now is $165 a month. And then you add, there's a third one, and that's 50. So you're already paying 200 and something a month. I did trace down all the Zoom bills. I did. And so we do, currently the town Zoom bills are still being charged to the previous town administrator. So we need to be able to reimburse that person and then, switch this over. So the longer we wait on it, and I'm not trying to rush us, if you guys need to sit and think about this and come back, that's fine. The longer we do that, the longer she's gonna be charged.
Yeah, no, I'm
I'd do it
prepared to-
tomorrow,
Yeah.
get their time.
Yeah. I agree.
So do you wanna, a motion?
I think so.
Because we have this thing to sign.
Do I?
You don't have you only have what, I printed out what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I printed out what it looks like and I would sign it on,
Oh, so we give you authorization to sign it. Okay.
I do see a question from Gail. Gail?
Yeah, I'm just curious to know if you've had a chance to compare the AI minutes with the actual meeting. I'm thinking about if you take a visual, for instance, of a written record and come up with a transcript. It's based on graphics, not on the typeface, and you have to then translate all the kooky things that show up on the page. So I'm wondering if our ears on these mics don't pick up what somebody's saying. Is AI going to invent something, or will there be a mush, or have you had a chance to check that out? I guess is what I'm asking. Have you had an exhibit A for this process?
so as thoroughly as you're asking your question, no. Because we looked at another town and another school, it was another school, I don't know if it was Narragansett, but it was another school's AI meeting minutes. They were well done, but he did say you don't just download them and use them as meeting minutes. So our administrative secretary would have to go through it. If the name Joan turned into John, she would have to make that correction. She still has to look at the YouTube and make sure that we're accurate in our reporting, and that will be done. And in the training or the rollout, I would train everybody to do that. You
Yeah.
can't, your minute takers of all your departments, your minute takers of all your committees need to know that they need to just not download that and print that out. So,
Particularly where it comes to decision making or vocalization of different opinions, yeah.
yeah, so it's a good concern, Gail. And we will address that. It's just not gonna be a blanket thing, but what it will do is speed up
Oh,
the minutes. It
yeah,
will get you minutes where you have a lot of commissions and meetings that people, they're all volunteers and busy. They're not professional minute takers, so it will help them.
Yeah.
I think it's a great tool.
Can I just ask a technical question, like, we pay for the backups, the terabytes, like
Yeah.
you said, and then you sort of said that it goes automatically to YouTube, or do we just?
No, we have to move it to
Right.
YouTube. So what's nice about it is you still have the backup, you have the retention, so, and I think that's an awesome feature. We're not doing that we're not doing that right now. So when we roll this out, we will make sure that we're experimenting tonight and that little thing is blinking, so it's recording.
Yeah, if I
and
hover
taking
over,
minutes.
if I hover over here, I know you can't see this on the screen and I apologize.
Yeah.
But, see this
See the star?
guy? So that is doing its job. See how it keeps.
Yeah. And that's a feature he explained to us today. So, I don't think we're gonna be able to go back and recreate it, but I think going forward, once we put this in place, that star will be.
There's some there. I mean, I
Yeah.
found AI minutes for Shutesbury
Okay.
Select Board meeting. I don't even know how I found it. I was looking for something. When I looked at it, I was amazed at how accurate it was.
Yes,
And I thought, who did this?
yes, and I think that'll help a lot of,
Yeah.
boards that need to catch up on their minutes.
Yeah.
It may help them do that.
The great reference.
The other question I have related to terabytes, so you have a terabyte of information that's backed up, what happened, presumably you use that up, and then you gotta get another terabyte, or you?
Right, well, retention is 7 years.
Okay,
We do not know, I will have to ask, the state how long we should keep that. A lot of people who do Zooms probably don't even know about this.
right,
So the backing up of the information, isn't, I don't believe, mandatory, because your minutes are what you're supposed to be posting.
right,
So it's very handy, especially to go back on it. And he told us you tell them, so we'll tell Zoom when we want them to dispose of older. So for 2018, for example, if we have something in there for 18 and it's 25, you can go ahead and have them drop all of that.
Gotcha. Okay,
So,
I think it's great.
All right, so do I hear a motion to convert to a business Zoom account with 10 licenses?
And to authorize the execution of the agreement, by the interim town administrator.
Do I hear that motion?
So moved.
Second,
All right. All those in favor?
Carol, I.
Stalker,
Thank you, Gabe, for doing that.
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for doing all the research,
No
that's
I
great.
have one thing, and I
And
know
so
quick case as well.
I'm gonna try to be quick here.
No, I meant about the Zoom.
Oh, okay, we'll do that.
We'll get on it next week.
I need to just ask you how the open meeting law letter violations are handled, because I'm not. sure that.
Who does the letters? We have to skip it over. We did skip it over. That's my fault. I skipped over that.
I missed it.
So I checked it out before, so I did this one just because it was familiar. I think in the past, the town administrator had, given us a draft letter to look at. And since you have a nice segue, we should go back to that agenda item. And look at that. That was my fault, guys. I'm sorry. So that's how we've done it in the past. Is that something we should go forward doing, or if we should handle it ourselves? It's for us to, I guess, decide, but.
It's a tough one for me because you're gonna have a future town administrator, so that may be the time to turn it back over. Because I have found that the 20 hours, or actually I've been working more like 30. There's a lot going on,
Sure.
and so adding this element to it is tough, because I'm not here, and when I am here, a lot of people want to talk and tell me what they need and all of that sort of things.
Yeah, I think for the time being that we can handle, I know on that, there was a public records request and, we pulled all that information together, and handed it off to Grace, who responds to the public records request. I think if there are more open meeting law, violations, yes, that we will just, I guess amongst ourselves, figure out who's gonna do it, maybe rotate responsibility. I know Melissa took it this time, which most appreciative. So we should go
We
over
had
it.
a similar one prior, so it made this one easier because.
I can certainly help with them, I just need to know protocol, that's really what I'm saying.
I think we.
Start with us and.
Yeah,
I mean, for the most part, I assume it's sort of templatable, right? I mean, like.
no, I mean, each one is, I mean, you
I
have.
know,
this
you have
one
to fill
was-
in different dates, and if you just objected to the tourist. It's not the same.
No, they're not all the same.
This one.
Yeah,
was
this
similar
one
to-
was similar to a previous
Right,
Which is why I felt confident that it could be
Right.
done by us. And this is an instance, sometimes we bring in town council too, so, and that would be, town council usually draft the letter, I think, we're gonna get that one. So, but yeah, I think we can hit that.
So do you
So
want to
going back
summarize
to,
it? Yeah,
yes, going back to, so, let's go back to that. So we had a open meeting law complaint, sent to the AG process.
well, it was sent to us.
Us. From, Amanda Alex, and that summary of the complaint was it alleged that 2 of our agenda items on our October 22nd, 2024 select board meeting were insufficient and did not include adequate detail to reasonably advise the public of the anticipated discussion. And those 2 items listed, one was at 6:15 PM, new highway super contract, and at 6:20 PM, new highway equipment operator. That was the open meeting law complaint. And so then it's on us to respond to Ms. Alex, and our response is that we are denying that those 2 agenda items are inadequate.
and, having reviewed the open meeting law regulations, found that the agenda item on that date provided the significant specificity to reasonably advise the public, and we coded in the letter the section and verse of that. So that is the summary of the letter. Did either of you have any edits for the letter at all?
No.
That was good.
And so now we will send this with, to Ms. Alex and to the Attorney General's office, is what the process has been in the past.
So I make a motion that we, execute the letter to, Amanda Alex in response to the open meeting law complaint dated November 20th, 2024.
Second,
All those in favor? Carol, I.
Dr.
Thank you so much. We'll send it with our other things.
Okay.
And so, does that answer that?
That's-
question?
yeah, it
It
does.
does, and brings us back to that agenda item, so thank you.
And that's all I have.
If you have questions for me on anything, please.
So I just want to get back to the motions. Do you think that you will have the time to get those together for Tuesday evening?
Yes,
Or-
and I'll email them to you.
Okay,
I'll either try to do it Friday or Monday morning. I know it's kind of late, but
yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, often we didn't get them until right at town meeting. I mean, I would say if there's any question on any of the motions, you know, feel free to call Donna McNichol too.
yeah, if I have, she did review it.
Okay,
There were a couple of grammatical things that she advised being changed.
okay,
But we'd already posted, so I didn't change them.
right.
So, and she's not coming because
Okay.
there's no need. It's a simple enough special town meeting. So I'll try to take what you sent me, incorporate it in what we have, and send it out to you folks. Do you want me just to send it to the select board email or all three of you?
Select board email.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll send it to the select board.
Oh, it does, I didn't know that, 'cause then I'm
Yeah.
double doing.
So when you,
Yeah.
when it goes into the, select board email,
Yeah.
we all get it.
I didn't
You'll
know
get
that.
the automatic response.
Okay,
It also goes to you and then.
all right, so that helps solve a problem for me.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to make sure I was covering all the bases, I'm silly. So I'll just start doing just the select board. That's-
Yeah, and so
I checked
that's
it out.
news to me, so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
when it's, when something goes to the select board, it
It goes to
automatically goes
TA.
to the TA and to
And
the
the
administrator.
Right.
Because I was CCing, so people were getting, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of set up in,
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever established in a way. Like,
No, I
it was
mean,
Set up and then we kind of moved on, or someone suggested we set it up. So
Yeah.
it's just a rule in there, so
Okay.
that we don't have to worry about, that's why we had asked for, anything to the select board, go, that's timely, go to the selectboard.org in the last meeting, so that the public knows. And it's, yeah.
Okay, so do I have access to the select board email?
You can have access. There was I did wanted to do some research in there a while ago and there was, no one had the password, so I had to reset it, so I'll give it to you. You have it. I have that at home, so I don't have it right here.
Because if there is something that's timely, it'd be nice for us to know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you're getting ours.
I'm getting
You-
yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything that goes and it says selectboard@shutesbury.org.
So what I
On that
get is the
board.
notice that, the response notice.
If you send one, you get a response notice.
Okay.
Right, so, but if I sent something to select board, it would go to you automatically, it would go to Abby automatically.
Okay.
So there's, so
Let me look at that.
Yeah.
because,
if
um,
you look in and it's, and, here, I'll put it up to you. Yeah, and then,
The emails have been nuts.
Yeah.
So, and I am getting a grasp on that, but,
so I'm just gonna send this to select board right now. Yeah, just so you know.
all right.
About 3 minutes.
And I don't think there was anything else, right?
No.
And I will go to the school on Monday morning and then just make sure everything's all set for the meeting.
All right.
All right, thank you all. So I think that's
That's all.
Okay, yeah, so
I
we
think
just,
Jim had something you want to say, but
I didn't get a response. I'm looking for the renewal for the license issues for athletic.
Okay,
So I've been looking for a date.
yeah, so I believe I emailed you, later in the day today, okay. So we have to have a discussion, because we put your folder together with everything we found. So I'd like to make an appointment with you, is that possible? Okay, because I have, for some reason, I have a check from 2023 that was never cashed from you guys. There's stuff like that, so, so I don't know if you wanna. You didn't get my email, you wanna email me again and I'll respond to you?
Yeah.
Or give me your
My
phone
email
number.
addresses.
I don't know if you wanna do this
Yeah.
in public.
Oh, we'll adjourn.
Yeah.
So, all in favor of adjourning the select board meeting?
Farrell, I
Stalker, I,
Thank you, Sonia, aye. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. for
thank
coming.
you.
Thanks.
Right.